Hello, everyone. Ben Briggs here for PPC Better, your Nashville-based digital marketing and AI sales agency. And today we're going to talk about cookie tracking best practices. And we do have a presentation to share, so we'll dive into that. So if you're a Google advertiser or a Meta advertiser who's in the EU, Australia, Canada, um, or the United States, then you do need to kind of think about cookies. You need to think about what's going on with your cookies. Your cookies are like your web analytics, your Google Pixel, your Meta Pixel, and there's some things that we recommend that we think can help you stay policy compliant while also getting good data to be able to optimize your campaigns. But it's important to note that this is not legal advice, not financial advice. Nobody actually knows how the laws are going to handle this in any particular case. There's pretty thin litigation so far, and the laws are fairly new. The legislation isn't standardized necessarily across jurisdictions. So this is just a presentation based on my experience with healthcare providers and on digital marketing campaigns. So the recommendations are an attempt to balance the provider need to use digital data to target ads with your obligations to keep your patient data private and respect the privacy of the people using your website. So always seek legal and financial advice from qualified professionals, which I am not one of. So for if you're in the EU, and I believe that this would also apply to Australia, Canada, and New Zealand, most of the Anglosphere, that's most of the non-US Anglosphere. The way that I've read the regulations, I believe that it's not okay to set a Google Analytics cookie, to set a Metapixel, to serve your ad tracking cookies when the user hits your page before they click consent. So how does that look? This is Cookie Yes. We like Cookie Yes a lot. If you need help implementing Cookie Yes, get in touch with PPC Better. And this is the general EU overlay. So you get the option to customize. You can pick some cookies I want to allow, some I don't. You can reject all or accept all. And the best practice is to make sure that your cookie plugin, whether you're using Cookie Yes or something else, does not allow your tracking cookies to serve until the user accepts them. So that's what we recommend in the EU. This is going to result in a bunch of traffic that is not going to be reported to Google or Meta, but losing that data is better than losing a lawsuit, in my opinion. So it's a good idea to keep your tracking cookies on the sideline. Make sure they don't fire until the user's actually consented to them. In the US, I believe it is okay to set cookies without the user's explicit consent. So when they visit your website, you can set the cookie on the page view, but you do need to offer an opt-out, at least in some states. And my opinion is that there's enough similar legislation to the California law that just kind of using the California rules for all of your US traffic makes sense. This is going to look more like this. So what this is doing is it's telling the user, hey, we're tracking you right now, and we might share your information, we might sell your information, we could do anything we want with it. But if you want to opt out of that, then you just use this handy link right here, and you can opt out of us sharing your information. So it's okay to set the cookie before the user clicks anything, but you do need to give them an opt-out path. This is particularly important for healthcare advertisers because if you don't follow the policy, you could be flagged by Meta ads or Google ads for improperly collecting and sharing possibly health information. So there's no risk-free way to track your ads. There's always a possibility that you could get in trouble. And I think a lot of providers actually have just gotten totally away from doing any tracking. Now, if you're paying money for digital advertising and then you're not tracking, then there's a huge downside to that because you're going to lose performance, you're going to lose visibility. It's a big problem. So what we recommend is that you do use cookies, you do use tracking, but you try to do your best to comply with the relevant laws. And I think that this overview is a pretty good way to keep yourself compliant. So as far as how do you implement it? So you say, okay, well, I want to provide the opt out, or I want to prevent the cookies from firing until someone visits my website. So what's an efficient way to do that? Um, uh, I like to use Cloudflare. Cloudflare is kind of a DNS administration tool that makes it easy for you to implement Cookie Yes, other cookie management programs. It's got other features to help you set up subdomains, email, all that kind of stuff. So, highly recommend as a first step if you're going down this road to implement Cloudflare. And then Cookie Yes is a very easy way to reliably implement cookie management. So, implementing the Cookie Yes program once you've got Cloudflare in place is fairly straightforward. I wouldn't call it super easy, but it's definitely something that can be done. And server side tracking is another element that can give you an advantage because with pixel tracking, you might be transmitting some private information, potentially private information in an insecure manner with your pixel. So if you implement server-side tracking where all of the tracking is done on your internal server and then sent securely to Google Analytics only after it's been processed on your own server is a good way to add an additional layer of privacy and security. Once you've got this stuff in place, you'll be able to measure the customer actions on your website and you'll be in compliance with the relevant regulations as far as we know. So if you're not doing cookie management, whether you're in the US or the EU, I mean, can you really trust your agency if they haven't gotten up to speed with these regulations and taken some action to help you protect yourself? With proper cookie management, it will give you better access to data insights and it'll let you make data-driven decisions. If you're not managing your cookies properly, then you could have incomplete or impartial or unreliable data. So brands that want to win at Google and Meta ads should request an audit from PPC Better. We can audit your conversion tracking, we can audit your cookie setup, and we can make sure that everything is set up and good to go. This is a recital from the European GDPR, which is the most relevant regulation. And I'll just kind of read it here. So consent should be given by a clear, affirmative act establishing a freely given, specific, informed, and unambiguous indication of the data's subject's agreement to the processing of personal data related to him or her, such as by a written statement, including electronic means or an oral statement. This could include ticking a box when visiting a website, choosing technical settings for information society services, or another statement or conduct which clearly indicates in the context that the data subject's acceptance of the proposed processing of his or her personal data. These are terrible sentences. They're very difficult to read. Silence, pre-ticked boxes, or inactivity does not constitute consent. So that's why we're recommending this experience prior to setting the cookies. If you click customize and accept some, or if you click all, that is the affirmative consent that you have decided to allow us to process your data. In the US, we're using the California Civil Code here. This is pretty closely mirrored in a number of other states. Some states have other provisions, but it's generally viewed as the most stringent in the US. So if you're complying with it, you're probably complying with anything else. Again, not financial or legal advice. Seek your own attorneys, blah, blah. Here are the main sections that establish the opt-out approach. A consumer shall have the right at any time to direct a business that sells or shares personal information about the consumer to third parties not to sell or share the consumer's personal information. This right can be referred to as the right of opt-out. So that's why we have the opt-out footer on the US version. Businesses that sell or share personal information must provide a clear and conspicuous link on the business's internet homepages titled "Do Not sell or share my personal information to an internet web page that enables a consumer to opt out of the sale or sharing of their information. So that's why we recommend this sort of a banner here, where the user can opt out of sharing or selling of their information. Again, not legal or financial advice. Seek your own qualified advice from qualified professionals. But in my opinion, these cookie best practices for the EU and the rest of the Anglosphere compared to the US are a really good thing to implement. It can improve the quality of your data and also give you some risk reduction. So, thanks for taking a quick look at this video about cookie setting best practices. If you want to learn more, you want to engage with us, go to ppcbetter.com, go to the contact page, click on the strategy session, book a time, and we will take some time to connect and find out if PPC Better might be a good fit to help you with your digital marketing and AI sales. So, thanks everybody for watching this video. Have a great rest of your day. And that's all for now. Thanks.